Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am You Lost a Star. I am here if you are lost on the update to the Out of Time team. So this team we have Captain America, Captain Carter. So what I'm going to be talking about is how big should you be building them. So looking at what other content creators put out, some people are saying, this is a skip team. Some people are saying you're going to need this team. And I thought I'd sort of take a look at where you are in the game and sort of work out whether for you, how big do you need to build them? Because Scopely do not believe in skip teams. If they put a team out, they want you to be building it. They will find a way of making sure that you build it. And if you don't, you're going to be missing out on things. And that could be as simple as there might be an event that you need G16, G17, G18 characters for this team. I'm very sure that will happen. So that's what we sort of need to look at planning, and have a look at where you are. So as I see it, there's sort of four main areas where you could be. You could be early game. So this is early game, I would say right now is anywhere up to DD5. So that's probably in your first year of playing. Then mid game is you've beaten DD5, you're working towards either APOC or Super Scroll. And I'm sort of at the end of that now. I've built all my teams for DD6. I'm just on the last two nodes. And once you get past that, you've unlocked Super Scroll. You're in the sort of end game. You've achieved all the, all the content that's out there. You're just working towards building what you want to build. So I'm at the moment starting to build up my war teams and my crucible teams, and then you've sort of got at the end you've sort of got the whales and the krakens, and these are the people that are building everything. They're already looking at DD7. They've already got to level 100. So that's the four sort of main areas. So if you're at the first area, you're still doing DD5 or less than that. If you're at that point, you probably didn't have Rebirth built big. So, and I think that's where a lot of this team is going to come from. For some people, as you can see, I've got Captain America 86, level 86, Captain Carter at level 85. So they're at G16. That's not too bad. That's definitely a good start. If you haven't got them at that point, if you're sort of early game, then you're sort of looking at that's a lot of investment for this team when you've probably got a lot of other priorities. So you probably want to sort of bring your other characters up to maybe G15. Particularly sort of Cosmic Ghost Rider is Miasma. There's a lot of pressure on Miasma right now. And who else have we got? We've got Starbrand. What is he? He's Astral. So Astral is another very heavy one right now. So you've sort of got like Sunspot, Icarus, Phoenix just got announced as a rework. APOC. I'm sure there was someone else with Astral. We can have a look in a minute. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, APOC, Icarus, Phoenix, or Psylocke if you're still doing and Sunspot and Sunfire if you're still doing APOC. So if you're an early game, you don't want to be taking these too high. They're a good war team, and war teams are really good that they will last a long time. But if you've got so much other stuff going on, then is it worth it? So I suppose the next sort of stage then is, are you a mid-game player? If you're looking at DD6. So Captain Carter and Captain America were very good DD6 choices for people who did it early. So actually, if you're looking at DD6 now and planning it and looking for bio characters for global, then Captain Carter and Captain America are fantastic choices. Black Knight is another global, so he's a skill. He will be a character you will want to be taken to DD6. He looks absolutely brilliant. His unique is also a very good unique because it's not high in demand at all. He's got the arcane energy, so he is a character, and particularly his skill, there's not a particularly lot of good skill characters that you want to build to DD6, so he should be on your DD6 team if you haven't beaten global yet. That is a character you want to be taking. And especially if you can get the synergy between Carter, America, and Black Knight, that's a really good idea. So also if you're in that stage, maybe you probably have built Rebirth up to a decent amount, hopefully before. You probably were doing bio nodes and needing them, so you've probably already got those built up. Maybe even just, even if it's just a level 80, that's going to get you quite a bit of the way there. So Captain America uses Vibranium. So hopefully there's not too much pressure on that. I mean, you might just have to not build Wakandans for a bit, but they're not really essential at this point. They're a bit of an old team now. Captain Carter is Molecular Cloth. So that is one where there might be... There's a lot of characters that use Molecular Cloth, but you should be able to sort of get away with it. So looking at the other characters, Kraven's a big one, Photon's a big one, Spider Weaver. So you probably do want to build her, but you also want to be aware of the other characters that also use that unique. I mean, Kraven's was particularly brilliant for me for Dark Dimension 6. Weaver was okay, but I mean, maybe she sort of needed the support from Captain Carter and Captain America to sort of survive, because she did sort of die quite quickly. And I did take quite a few characters that needed Molecular Cloth to Dark Dimension 6, so have a look at that. So, but if you're mid-game, Cosmic Ghost Rider, there's so much pressure on Miasma. There's a lot of big characters that use that unique, so you're looking at Cloak, probably not essential at this point. You could probably just avoid doing that if you haven't built him. Deathpool, you need that for APOC. Doctor Doom, you're gonna need to build him at some point. And Dormammu, look, I'm at the stage where I'm looking ahead towards what am I gonna need for Dark Dimension 7. And looks like those two are going to be very, very important. You got Robbie Reyes, who was brilliant in Dark Dimension 6. Hela, I want to build Hela because I've built 2 of the Undead team already, so I kind of need to do Hela to finish her off, and that's probably not something, if you're mid-game, you're probably not worrying about that. And Kitty Pryde just got announced as a rework. I wouldn't think too much about that at this point. That's probably a character you probably don't want to take to Teal Gear. So that is where we are for mid-game. So looking at where I'm moving to, which is sort of end game. Finish DD6. Now you're looking at your war teams. This is a team you want to be building. If you're at the end of the game, you definitely had a good rebirth. So you want to be pushing them up. Captain America, Captain Carter, be pushing them out to 95. Black Knight, you will want him at high level. Cosmic Ghost Rider is going to be a difficult one because, as I said, there's a very high pressure on Miasma. You're going to be looking towards Dark Dimension 7. And the question, I guess, for you is have you already built some of these characters? I wish I took Dormammu to Dark Dimension 6. I did struggle with Cosmic. So maybe I should have done, and I didn't take Doctor Doom. I did take Deathpool, that was probably a mistake. So looking at how much Miasma I need for what I want to build, I probably need another, definitely 150 from what I've already got. So I'm going to be literally buying any Miasma in the store. So I guess it's a case of the resource management. What is the priority? Can I, maybe if I just build Cosmic Ghost Rider up to G16, and hope that the rest of the team can carry him. Starbrand as well. He doesn't look like the best character on the team. He's a bit of a weak spot, and he, as I said before, the Astral Energy is very high in demand, particularly from the raid team, APOC, some of the APOC requirements. So him as well. I want to be taking G16, I think. So I'd have. So my aim is the first 3 at G18, next to a G16, and hopefully that will carry me in war. Because a war team should last at least 2 years. There's a limited number of war meta teams, and you can use, you could realistically have 23 teams per war. So if you're building a war team, that's going to last you. It's going to be a long time until they drop off that 23. So a war team is a very good investment if you're at the point where you haven't got other priorities. And that's going to depend on how far are you with building your raid teams. I'm still building Hivemind at the minute. I'm still pushing the Extreme X-Men up just a little bit. So, and then the skill team's going to be coming out at some point. There's a lot of teams that's been announced. We've got the Cabal team's been announced. There's the reworks announced to the X-Men. And a lot of them, let's have a quick look at those. Where are we with X-Men? So, Kitty Pryde, hopefully you've already built her up to G15 because that was the Nowhere event. Jubilee, I think, was for Pimtech, I believe. Can't remember. There was definitely a legendary unlock with when you required Jubilee to that level, so hopefully you've got that. And then you got X23, Colossus, and Phoenix. So for me, I haven't built these up already. Some of you might do. If you have, then you're in a better position. But at some point, I want to be sort of trying to push them up just in case they're needed, but also try not to invest too much in them because it is a resource management game. And there is a possibility that actually you might not need them. With the Sinister Six, I'm not building Rhino. I've worked out 2 teams that don't include him at all. So maybe some of them might not get needed. Just gonna be having to wait and see what the reworks are. If you're building if you try to build 2 war teams, actually you've got plenty of other X-Men you can slot in and. So we will see. But that is the guide of how big you should build them and why for the Out of Time team. But particularly it's going to be depending on how big is your Captain America and Captain Carter right now. How is, Black Knight looks to be the one that's going to defeat Super Skrull in Arena. So you're going to need him, but if you're not facing Super Skrulls now, how essential is he? That's another question, But if you're going to need him and you're going to need him to take him to the moon, then you've already got 3 characters out of this team that you've already built. So what's the point of not building the whole team? You could at least get Cosmic Ghost Rider and Starbrand to G16. And then that's a workable team that will take you very well in war. So that is my reasoning. Hopefully that helps. Good luck. See you soon.